Yo, I thought I'd come on for this video and just explain what is high ticket closing, which is what I currently do for work, and how does the industry work, how does the space work, and also why I personally have decided to go into it. Because I've been asked a few times by people, what is it you actually do? How does that work? And I feel as though just a nice, concise video breaking it all down would work best. So, high ticket closing is a sales role online, and it is commonly within the health, wealth, and wellness space. And what I mean by that is, depending on what industry you're in, you are basically working as a sales contractor, in essence, where a company is bringing you in to help uplift their sales process. So, for example, if you were selling a fitness package, a fitness offer, there's a business, they help people to get into shape, and obviously maybe the business owner is the coach themselves, maybe they are running a business and they have coaches underneath, but either way, the whole purpose of the program is to help people build muscle, lose weight, get themselves healthier. However, they lack sales skills, so maybe they can deliver a stellar service, they can actually get people healthier and provide that, but they lack being able to close sales and actually get clients on board. That is where the high ticket closer would come into play. So they would reach out to somebody and they would say, look, if you take our calls, which are normally held on Zoom, then you can take 10% of all of the profits. So for the most part, I think nearly on all occasions, it is a commission-only job. So I get no base pay. I only make money if I perform and if I sell, and that's industry standard. And all my job would be in that specific case is I link my Google Calendar to that company's system and then check my phone, check my calendar and see calls getting booked in. And all I need to do is turn up at the right time, open up my laptop, jump on the Zoom call with somebody and close the deal. Obviously, what that would come down to is then doing your homework, getting clued up on the offer you jump on board with so that you actually know that the service is good, and then you also know how to sell it effectively. And from there, you just work your magic, and then you close the deal and take your cut. And the big thing about it is that when it comes to the cost per program, cost per mentorship, depending on what the offer is, they're usually quite high, hence the word high ticket. So for me personally, I actually currently work on an offer in the business mentorship space. So like the fitness one, that helps people to get themselves fit and healthy. A wealth-based offer would be for people looking to grow their own businesses. So they'd invest in something that would help them to do that. And mine is helping gym floor personal trainers and coaches to get online and grow their own online coaching business. So as you can imagine, the cost of an investment to cover that is going to be quite high. As if someone comes to you with the offer of, hey, look, I'm going to help you set up and teach you how to set up your own business, which is going to be pulling you, £3,000, £5,000, £10,000 a month, depending on the size you grow it to. How much would you be willing to pay that person in order to give you that life? And obviously that can then vary depending on the offer they're on. But for the most part, I think a low end would probably be £2,000, and you can sell upwards of £10,000 packages, even higher, depending on what you're on. I know somebody that was selling for a book publisher, something along those lines. It was where somebody was hiring ghostwriters to write their own autobiographies. Like, that's what I mean. You can really get quite niche in these industries. But that was, $70,000 deals. So if they close that one deal, they've just made $7,000 off the back of it. And of course, you build your way up. You build your skills, and the more you perform and the more you can show that you get results, the larger the company that is going to hire you to do the same for them. And the reason why I love this space is because it is competitive. And I feel as though competitive desire, not to beat other people, but just to improve and better yourself each and every month, is such a huge driver for me personally, and I think is a driver for most people. So when it comes to a normal job, let's say, so a 9 to 5, everyone seems to box that into nowadays. You work for a base salary, you may get a bonus depending on what you're in if you hit certain criteria, and you get given a plan ideally for when you're going to get raises and promotions if you commit certain lengths of time and effort to that one company. That's normally how a structure would go. They are very long-winded, and they're also undetermined mostly. So if you get into a really good company and they give you a very clear picture of you do this, you do that, and you're going to earn here, and then you'll earn that, and then you'll earn that, you can at least see the stepping stones that you need to take. So it gives you something to work towards. It gives you a desire and a drive. That I could get behind if you feel as though you need certainty in your life or you enjoy certainty and safety. If that is the case, then perhaps there are 9 to 5 positions that would still give you fulfillment and also enable you to live a life that you would like to live. For me personally, I could not find an avenue that would provide me that. So that is why I pivoted and ended up heading into sales. Because in this environment, I work for myself. So I'm basically a contractor. I can jump to different companies if I so chose to. And I'm not answering to anybody. As long as I deliver results for that company, they will pay me my 10%. They will be happy, and then we're both happy. That's the only real level of answering to I have on that regard. I pick my own hours. I can choose to work whatever time zone. So if I really wanted to, I could work for an American offer and work in the evenings here. I don't know why you would do that, but the freedom's there. And one of the biggest things as well is I can work from anywhere. So I am not location bound or time bound in that sense. If I wanted to right now, I could move. I mean, ideally, it would be anywhere within Europe, so I'm at least within the same time zone. But let's say I wanted to move to Thailand or Australia, I could just find a way to switch my offer onto an offer that's sold within that time zone, or just work weird, odd hours. So that also feels really good. It gives me a sense of control over my own destiny and my position in life. I feel as though if you get caught up within the corporate ladder, you might have very clear stepping stones towards a promotion, but you have to continue working in that location. Realistically, for the most part, you have to stay living where you're living, commuting to the same workplace, and that repetitiveness becomes monotonous to me very quickly, and it always has done. And I feel as though I do require some level of chaoticness in my own life. I need to have some form of freedom that wouldn't provide me. And as well as this, at the end of the day, when people hear that I am obviously within this, they think, oh, so you're a salesman. That's a classic, because nowadays sales has a really bad rep. Obviously, I think after The Wolf of Wall Street came out and you hear about used car salesmen, the usual thing, everyone almost believes a salesman is a scammer. Like a salesman, they're just trying to get money out of me. That's what somebody would think. However, it really isn't the case. It genuinely isn't. Like, all a salesman is doing is helping you bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be, or what you have now to what you want to have. And it comes down to a state change. So that applies to anything, if I'm honest, genuinely anything. If you wanted to use a used car salesman, for example, where you are now is you are somebody without a car. Where you want to be is somebody that gains the benefits of having a car. What that salesman's job is to convince you, in essence, of the benefits that that car will bring to you and make you aware of some of the benefits that you yourself may not have been even aware of. And when it comes to the spaces that I work in, so let's just use my one specifically. So helping gym floor personal trainers to become online coaches and grow their own business. A lot of them have very limiting beliefs that have held them back. They believe that they don't have the time to do something like this. They believe that they don't have the money. They believe that it may not bring their life value, in essence. However, the things that they actually say to me entirely contradict that. So it will be, I'm working 30 to 40 hours on the gym floor, so I have no time. It's making me feel tired. It's making me stressed. And I feel as though this might be the avenue to escape that life. I then present them, what we have to offer. I walk them through the process. And then when they get to the end, they say, that's quite a lot of money. I'll have to go away and think about it. I'm not sure whether this is something I want to dive headfirst into right now. And they seemingly don't acknowledge, until I help them to acknowledge, that all they have been doing for the last however many years is going away and thinking about things. Because at the end of it all, the only reason why they're in the circumstance they are in, working that amount of hours, feeling tired, feeling stressed, not making as much money as they'd like to be making, is entirely their fault and responsibility. It's nobody else's. You are the only person that manifests and creates the life you live. It is no one else's fault but your own. And until I enable them to realize that, it is normally very difficult for someone to endure a state change, because that's all you're used to. You're used to comfortability and what you know. And whenever you're making an investment into yourself, it is always going to be scary. No one likes handing money over. No one likes to see money going out of their bank account. But you're never going to be able to give someone 100% certainty. So your job as a salesman is to not convince them that, 100% you're going to get these results, 100% this and that. Look how good this is. Look how good that is. No, you're here to convince them that it is up to them to make a decision that is always going to be scary, but will inevitably improve their life in the long run. That is all you're doing as a salesman. And that is how I approach every single call I jump on. I'm not looking at these calls thinking, money, money, money. Yeah, this person's about to hand a bunch of money over. It's, let's have a discussion with this person. Let's see whether what we do can genuinely help them. If I truly believe it can, and I know that they're a good fit, then I'm going to do everything within my power to enable them to see that as well. And if anyone is in sales, there's some source for you, because that's the mental model that you need to be applying to yourself when you're going onto your calls. If you are looking to take money off of people, it is going to come across that way. And the old-fashioned style of selling does not work anymore, because people have such higher sales resistance than they used to. Back in the day when people used to like cold call and sell on the phone and be like that, hey man, buddy, da-da-da, like Wolf of Wall Street vibe. That would have worked back then. I mean, it did, but now people are so clued up on it. They're like, I can see through this, man. Like, I can see what you're trying to do here, trying to bend my arm. Here's a free toaster, that sort of thing. So yeah, that was just a brief summary and rundown of the space I'm in and what I believe it provides for me and what I think it could provide to others. The one thing I would say, if anybody is considering getting into sales and is specifically looking into high ticket closing, it is very difficult. That is for sure. It's very, very difficult. However, it is a skill that you can always improve. There is always a way to get better. You're never going to get to a point where you think you're the best salesman in the world. And that alone gives you something to work towards every single day that is going to give you fulfillment. And the way you need to view it, if you are looking to get into a space that is commission only, which when you say that, by the way, people react as if it is very risky or high risk. If you're confident in your ability, it really isn't. And if you're working a 9 to 5, like the company could go bust, you could get made redundant. You hear about that all of the time. Your job isn't guaranteed, even if you have a boss and a manager and you work for a company, dependent on the size of the company. But you catch my drift. You need to come into this space with an athlete's mentality. That's how I view it. I train every single day to get better. Every time I jump off a call, I analyze, okay, where did that go wrong? Where did that go right? How can I improve? How can I do better? How can I earn more? How can I achieve more? And it's the exact same as any top class athletes. I mean, like Michael Jordan, he was the best basketball player in the world, and he still had a coach, and he still trained, and he still believed he could get better even when he was the number one. And the biggest mistake people make is the moment they start to gain traction in any avenue of their life, they take their foot off the gas because they think, we can cruise now. We've hit that point. We've sped up. We've got over the bump, and now let's just cruise. Let's just cruise. And if you do that, you're just going to steadily fall back down the hill. You need to constantly be working towards something greater. You need to constantly believe that you can get better in whatever you're doing. Stay humble and stay hungry. That is a nice phrase that I like. I think I used to have it written on my whiteboard. I might write that back down, actually. It's a good one. And a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. That's what is currently on there. That's a classic. But yeah, that was a brief summary of the high ticket closing space and a little bit of sales in general. Obviously, this wasn't really a motivational video, so this would be much more niche specific on whoever would watch to this point, I think. But as always, if you are still here, you're a fucking G. Like, really appreciate it. I really appreciate anyone who's willing to listen to me rant. And yeah. My next video will probably be a little bit more mindset oriented, but maybe I actually will make a couple more sales videos and potentially talk about sales tactics, sales skills that I've been picking up and ways in which I would maybe go about getting into this space as well. If anyone is interested, of course, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll always give out any free advice and things of that nature. So yeah, obviously have a great rest of your day and thanks very much for watching this far. Catch you later.